Hello beautiful people and welcome back to the channel. Happy new month. So today we're making this beautiful pinafore skirt today. So we'll be starting with our basic bodice, not full basic bodice. So here we'll be starting from the center waist to measure 1/4 inch, and then you go to your shoulder. From the center of your neck you measure 3.5, and then you join your dots together. So after you have done that, you go to your shoulder, and from the top part you measure 1 inch slant, and that's going to be where your shoulder will be, where the clothes is going to be resting on your shoulder. You take 1 inch. Then from the center where we measure 4 inch, and then we'll connect it together. But then I later changed it to 4.5 inch on the lower side, and the upper part is 4 inch. Then we connect our dots together. So after we've done that, we'll cut out the lines we created. So after we've successfully cut out the band, we will take our measurement for the skirt. Starting from the waist, I used 14.5 inches. Depending on where you want your waist measurement to start from, that's where you start measuring from. Then from your waist you measure down to your hip point. My hip point is 23 inches. And then from your hip point you measure your full length for the skirt. So after you've done that, you connect your dots together. Then here I was just measuring the waist measurement divided by 4 inches. You take your waist measurement divided by 4, and then you take your hip measurement also divided by 4. You measure that as well, and then you go to the length of your skirt depending on where you want your skirt to reach. Mine is a 3/4 skirt, so I use the measurement of my waist minus 1 inch because I wanted it to really be a pencil skirt, since it was going to have slits at the back. If it's going to also have slit at the front and you want it to be a pencil long skirt, like the red flowery dress in the pin of this video, that's how that is going to look like. But if you want it to be short, depending on what you want, you just thick the measurement depending on the length you want. And if you want it to be a short length, you're not going to use the same measurement of the hips, for your waist at the lower part, so it's going to fit you and you'll be able to walk in your skirt. So here I was just joining all the dots together to make sure everything is nicely measured before I put in my scissors and cut it. Cut. So after that, you just cut out the pattern paper. So after you've done that, you take your material and fold it, cut it with the pattern paper, and then make sure you're cutting the front. I was cutting the front with 1 inch seam zipper allowance at the back, and this for the slit. And then after I cut the skirt, I made sure I cut the band for the skirt as well. So I measured 5 inches long. That's in fold, it's going to be 2.5 inch. That's with the sewing allowance. So the band originally is 1.5 inches. So after I've done that, I'm going to cut the band measurement away from the skirt because I didn't originally take it out. I forgot to do that. So now that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking the band away from the skirt. So I measured 1.5 because that's the original band length for the skirt. And after I did that, I shaping the side of the band a little bit more so it will be fitted. So after I put that one away, and then we would measure our band for the upper part of the dress skirt. I don't know, skirts, dress, anyone will call it. So yeah, I just cut. Here we're done cutting all our materials. Here I've joined the bands together in twos. Here I'm just turning them in out. So after you turn them, you take them to the ironing table and iron it very well. Iron it from the side. And here's the band. I ironed a S-date to it, so it's going to be firm when you wear it. And I opened it into, I said it's folded into like 5 divided by 2.5, and the original length is the original band measurement is 1.5. So here we're joining them together, and make sure you join the center front with the center back, and then you go ahead and join your shoulders together. So here we join the shoulders together and you press it. After that, we'll take our band I know what I was just arranging inside this place now. It's okay. It's fine. So here I took the band. I was measuring or trying to locate the center of the band so we could take our measurements all from the center of the band. So when you get the center of the band, you take your measurement divided by 2 and then you notch it as well. So when you notch your measurement divided by 2, you put it aside, and then you take your skirt. From the lower part of the skirt, you measure 12 inches. That's for your slits. I meant 10 inches, so it's not going to be too wide. 10 inches for your slits, and then you take it to your machine. You also measure 10 inches from the upper part, and you sew it down. And here we already sew the zipper allowance down. So we're going to take the slit part and use Emmy gum to iron it down, so it's going to be smooth. So here we've already ironed it down with the Emmy gum. We don't want to sew it down. So after that, we take the front piece and place it on the back piece. Make sure you put the front to the back. Don't place the back to the front. You don't have to be losing your skirt all the time. So it will be neat. And make sure you check it correctly. So here we're just going to go and sew it by 1 inch at the side because I added only 1 inch seam allowance. So here from the band, the side of the band, I took away 1/2 inch because I want the band of my dress skirt to sit well on my waist. So after I cut it, I'm just going to go and stitch that place very well. Then I'm going to hem the lower part of the skirt. So after that, I took my skirt and measured and notched the center front of the skirt placing the center front of the skirt together with the center front of the band. After that, okay, here I was notching what I already mentioned before. After you've made sure your measurements are accurately correct, you will put the skirt aside and measure half a quarter inch from the center as well as half a quarter inch from the other side, and then you place the center of your band to that place and pin it down, and then you do it for the other side too. So that's what we're doing here, and then you just put the other side and pin it down as well, so everything is going to be neat, so it does not move around when you're sewing, because it's a very stretchy material. So if you're not careful while sewing it, it's just going to be moving up and down, so you have to be very, very careful. So here we're just looking at it. Okay, sorry. I'm measuring for the back of the center back as well, and you do the same here. From the band, you'd have measured your zip allowance. So after you measure the zip allowance, you also place it, and make sure you're placing it correctly, because it could be very tricky at this side with the band, so you don't get your band twisted at the shoulder side. So you make sure you check it correctly before placing it. Then after that, you pin everything down and take it to the machine and sew that area of the band. Then after you've done that, we already made it here, already sew the band together again. It's like English and this sewing, see, sew everything, cover that. Anyways, so after you've done that, you make sure you check that your band is accurate, and then you join them together. Then after you've done that, the last thing is just for you to fix your zip. And when you're fixing your zip, mind you, fix your zip in a V shape so that the band area is going to be firm. Thank you for watching. Bye.